Alright, so this is going to be a video about quadratic formula. If you remember, quadratic formula is basically this formula right here, where it's x is equal to negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac. All of that's over 2a. So that's basically what quadratic formula is, but what does it actually do? Well, basically what it does is if you have an equation that's in standard form, which is ax squared plus bx plus c, and you set it equal to 0, if you actually want to solve for x for this standard form quadratic equation, what you can do is use the quadratic formula. So it basically solves for x as long as you have the equation, that quadratic equation, in standard form. So what does that look like in a problem? Basically, I'm going to show you right here with that first example that we were doing, that negative 2x squared is equal to negative 4x minus 6. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to rewrite this so it's in standard form and it's equal to 0. So the easiest way to do that right here is it's negative 2x squared, is I'm going to add 2x squared to both sides. So if I add 2x to this side, I'm going to have 0, and then it's going to be 2x squared minus 4x minus 6. If you notice, it's ax squared plus bx plus c. You want that form every single time. You want it to be in standard form. It should match this thing right up here with the standard form equal to 0. So I have that. Next thing I'm going to do for the formula, I need to know what a, what b, and what c are. So what I'm going to do is actually just kind of simplify this a little bit and write it down really quick right here. So I'm going to write down that a is equal to 2 because it's whatever's in front of that x squared. Our b is going to be equal to whatever's in front of the x, which in this case it's going to be negative 4, so our b is equal to negative 4. And then our c is whatever does not have an x with it. In this case, it's going to be negative 6. So we found our a, our b, and our c. The next thing we're going to do is put it into the quadratic formula. So we're going to use this equation right here to basically figure out what that x is that makes this equation true right here. Now again, we actually solved this already in previous examples. We used the graphing technique, we used the factoring technique, we used the completing the square technique. So we should already know what the answer is, but we're just doing this in a different way. Okay, so that's basically what we're going to be showing right here. So I'm just going to basically write down this quadratic formula over here. So it's going to be x is equal to negative b, which in this case it's going to be negative negative 4. So it's negative of the negative 4. Every single time that I do any substitution, I put it in parentheses. So that's why I put that parentheses of the negative 4. So you're going to notice that each time I do this. So it's going to be b squared. So it's going to be negative 4 quantity squared minus 4 times a, which is 2, times c, which is negative 6. And then it's going to be the square root of all of that. And then this is all going to be divided by 2 times a, and our a is 2, so it's 2 times 2. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to simplify this. So that's what I'm going to do down here. So it's going to be x is equal to 4, because it's the negative of the negative makes it positive 4, plus or minus the square root of 16 minus, now it's going to be 4 times 2 is 8, times negative 6 is negative 48. So I'm going to do minus negative 48 here, and we're going to be dividing this by 4 here. Okay, and this is going to be equal to 4 plus or minus the square root of 64, all divided by 4. Now this obviously is going to simplify to 4 plus or minus 8 divided by 4. Now you might think you're actually done here, but this does simplify further. So the answer is going to be 4 plus 8 over 4, as well as 4 minus 8 over 4. So you're going to have two answers with this. Okay, here you're going to have 12 over 4, so the answer for this one's going to be 3. And then right here, you're going to do negative 4 divided by 4, which is negative 1. Okay, now if you remember when we solved this exact same problem using the factoring technique, using the graphing technique, and using the completing the square technique, we did get 3 and negative 1. So again, quadratic formula is just another way of solving quadratics. What's great about it is that it just follows this formula as long as you have it in standard form. So if you have any questions about anything in this video, let me know.